Everybody, Ralph Havens here. Welcome. Everybody, Ralph Havens here, autoimmuneanswers.com. And this morning, I was thinking about my best man. And actually, my best man was a woman and really good friend of mine. Haven't seen her in a long time. We used to have some great conversations on our runs and stuff in San Diego. Amazing person. Lots of story behind all that. And when Jen and I were getting married many years ago, Jen went to her bachelorette party and Martha was the one throwing it, and it was really cool. I got to hear some of the reports afterwards, and they were coming out of a bar, a cafe place in San Diego, in Hillcrest, the part of town we lived in. Pretty cool, hip part of town, lots of restaurants, lots of little clubs and bars and stuff. And it's where we lived. Quite a lot of activity going on, very walkable place. We loved it. And right next to Balboa Park. And she said Martha came out at the end of the night. It was like 2:00 in the morning. And I guess everybody was out in the streets because everything was closing down. And Martha just yelled at the top of her lungs, "Don't you feel alive?" And it was just like this big moment, and Jen was talking about it, and it was just awesome. And when Martha and I would have these conversations on our runs and stuff, we would talk about stuff. And she worked for a company that if I told you, you would go, "Oh my God, the devil." And she says, "Yeah, but at least I know the devil I'm sleeping with, and if I went with another one, it would just be another version of the devil." She had quite a funny way of saying things, but she knew I was like pushing the edge of things, and always looking for stuff and willing to do totally blow up stuff if it meant finding the truth. And that was quite it's a wild way to live, I tell you. But she goes, it all depends on how you want to die, right? Like, do you want to die in a comfortable bed or on the sidewalk? And so we used to joke about that one all the time. Like, it all depends on how you want to die, right, Martha? Like on the sidewalk or in your comfortable bed. And so either way, it's going to be kind of interesting, right? So when I think about it, it's like it's all based on fear, right? Like fear and thinking you're going to be safe. Like if you stay in a certain job, but these days, we know that that's not such a safe thing. A lot of times big companies fall and lay off people and all sorts of stuff happens anyway. So that's not a real safety net. And, fear of other things can keep you from doing stuff you want to do because you want to be safe, right? And so I was thinking about that. And, Jen is reading this amazing book right now. And I love it because she gives me the cliff notes. She tells me what's going on. It's amazing, the research she's doing. And I'm going to be interviewing her because I just want her to give more of this information to people because it's really quite amazing. But she's reading a book right now called The Moth in the Iron Lung. And it goes way back into the 1800s and the 1900s, early 1900s, and tells about what happened with stuff. And did you know that there was this kind of cool guy that thought he would make silk? And, the caterpillars make silk, and then he was going to use it so that there wouldn't have to be a lot of, we could replace cotton a bit. And he brought a bunch of different moths over and caterpillars over from Europe, I guess, and started to do it. But one group got away, and it was a very invasive caterpillar, and it was devouring acres and acres. And I guess Jen said you couldn't fall asleep without hearing all this crunching of just trees being destroyed. So they had to try to figure out something to do. And they figured out that if they put these things on it, and I believe, I might have the details not quite exact, but I believe it was arsenic and lead on all the fruits and vegetables, that it would kill the caterpillars, and they could stop it. And then they mandated that everybody, all the gardens, even local gardens, because people didn't just go to the grocery store, and they had gardens, and but they had a mandate that they would put all this arsenic and lead on all the fruits and vegetables. And then they started wondering why this thing was starting. And I won't give you the whole details because I don't want to be a spoiler of all that, but we'll get the information to you from Jen too. And but some really bad stuff started to happen. And so some conditions that started and sort of a whole cascade of events that people were using to try to stay safe. And so these days there's so many things that are being done that may be done by good people trying to do good things, but causing all sorts of problems, right? And then there's other times when it's like people know absolutely that something's not good, it's very unhealthy, dangerous, and yet they're doing it. And of course, that could be related to profit. Companies doing stuff like Johnson & Johnson just got busted because for 50 years they were putting asbestos, carcinogenic asbestos, in their baby powder and lying about it. And after 50 years, they finally got found out. That's crazy, huh? And Merck was lost a big lawsuit because the lawyers found internal documents that said that drug Vioxx, that's now off the market, but it was this big painkiller, was making them a lot of money. And but they knew from their studies that it was going to cause an increase in heart attacks and death. They knew it. And they hid that, and the internal documents and emails showed that. And so they knew that it was going to kill people. So that's called homicide, right? If you know you're going to kill somebody. And this was all found out, and 120,000 people died from Vioxx after Merck knew that it was going to kill people. So there's stuff that we do that we think we're doing to protect us, to get us out of pain, to do stuff. But if you can follow the trail back a little bit and figure out what happened, you might make different decisions, right? So it's kind of cool to tune into your own internal wisdom. And it's like, if you draw the timeline out far enough, we're all going to die. Our physical bodies are going to die. So I think Martha is right. It just depends on how you want to live, right? And also how you want to die. But so kind of a bit of a downer maybe video, but it's also a bit of hope. Like, we have a lot of internal wisdom. And what Jen and I are finding is, man, if we can just leave people alone, people can really heal and thrive. And a lot of stuff that we think we're doing to keep people safe is causing a lot of problems. So I'm going to leave it at that and just say maybe it's time to look for yourself and see what's going on. And we're doing stuff to try to keep us safe. Maybe we should look a little bit about what we're doing and maybe there's an internal wisdom. Maybe if you believe in God or divine creation or just intelligent design, or that there's some sort of wisdom inside ourselves, whatever that is, that maybe we're pretty good, after all these thousands of years of being humans. We've got a lot of stuff that's evolutionary in place that can keep us very healthy. So hope this helps. I'd love to hear your comments about stuff. Anything you found that maybe you thought was true or keeping you safe and then later found out wasn't. Comment below, hit subscribe, and let me know. All right, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. I do a session video pretty much every day, and you can grab those. You click the subscribe button and then click the little bell icon, and it lets you know when they're available. All right, bye for now.